So maybe you have a space in your home that you've been putting off organizing, and this video may give you the momentum to get started on that. Or maybe you don't and you just want to watch me tackle my own piles of procrastination, and that's okay too. I'm glad to have you here either way, and let's get started. I would like to extend my sincerest welcome to you to my decor closet. Today I'll be taking you into a room, well, we're already in a room, that many of you have never seen before, unless you watched my empty house tour that I posted 1.5 years ago. And at that point, well, it was empty. Now it's very much not. In fact, that's exactly why we're here. Here on my channel, you know that I usually share the pretty stuff, the decorated, curated spaces that look perfect, like not a spot of dust could belong there. But I've got to be honest, behind every room like that, there's a room that looks like this, that became pure chaos in the process of creating that beautiful room. And that's exactly what happened and has continued happening for months, maybe a year. It's been a while since I've cleaned in here. This room is like my mad science laboratory, and I am constantly in here taking stuff out, throwing stuff back in, and usually when I finish a DIY project, things just don't get put back like they should, because I'm usually right into the next project, and so things just get thrown in here because I don't have a lot of time. And it really makes it difficult for me to do more projects because I can't find things that I need. I've got some stuff in here, I've got some stuff downstairs. Oh, and speaking of that, not only does this room look like this, but because it's so unorganized in here that things just don't fit, there are rooms downstairs that have become cluttered with extra things because they just don't fit in here. Even like outside of the door leading into here, the hallway is lined with baskets full of stuff. I can't live like this. So let's fix it. I've definitely got to start with this section behind the door because I can't even open the door all the way. It's pretty bad. Not only do I hope this video is fun for you to watch and hopefully inspires you to organize a space in your home that could serve you better, because I know I definitely get inspired by watching other people clean. Throughout this video, I'll also be sharing some space-saving hacks that I'll be using because they may help you out as well. We all owe it to ourselves to make our house function the best it can for the people who live in it. The first thing I like to do with any type of makeover is to start with a completely empty blank slate because it gives my brain the room to breathe and plan out the space. This way I can see everything I have and make a plan for how the items can be arranged when I put them back in. Okay, this half of the room is cleared out. It is vacuumed and I'm about to dust off these shelves, and it got hot, so I had to change my shirt. Oh, I have a little hack for you. If you're ever vacuuming and you feel like the air that's coming out of the vacuum just smells really like musty and dusty, and it's like making your house smell that way, a little trick I have, if your vacuum has like a filter thingy, you can take a tissue or a piece of fabric and put some essential oils on it. You can just put this in here, and as it filters the air, it'll put the smell of the nice lavender or whatever you use into the air versus the nasty vacuum air. So that's a little hack that I like to use. This is one of my favorite parts about cleaning out rooms, is you find things that you've had for a while that you forgot you had. And yeah. I also found this, which my sister sculpted for me out of air dry clay. She's very talented. SpongeBob is my favorite cartoon ever, and I had a SpongeBob birthday party for my 25th, and she sculpted this for me. And it's kind of my prized possession. So if you're not familiar, this is the triple gooberberry sunrise from the SpongeBob movie. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. If you're wondering why I didn't remove any of the florals from this wall over here, that's because that's actually going to stay. That is working really well for me, and so I'll talk more about what I did here and how I'm going to make this even better a little bit later once we get to more of the space-saving hacks. Is it even one of my videos if Hazel doesn't make a grand appearance? She is always in the background, silently supporting me through every single project. It took me a while to get all of the stuff cleared out of here. As I was taking it out, I was placing it in piles of similar things. So all of my lampshades were together, all of my vases were together, my papers were together, etc. So that when it was time to organize, I could clearly see how much of each item type I was working with. Do y'all remember this? I made this in my very first video on YouTube and it's still holding up really good. It still looks great. That was when those, I think it was like a Anthropologie candle or something that looked like this, or maybe it was some other high-end brand, but this candle was like $360, but I made it out of Dollar Tree stuff. It's still holding up really good. I found some of my other old projects too, like these. This was like right before I started my YouTube channel and faux stone stuff was starting to get really popular. And this is a plastic maple syrup jug and I just smeared some plaster on it. Not my best work. I did the same with this little, this was a Pioneer Woman crock. It's not my best work. We've come a long way since then. And then this was from my second video ever. I think it was my second or third video. I made these little air dry clay bead things. These aren't holding up too good. I think it's because I used salt, and salt is, you know, biodegradable. It didn't hold up. So careful using salt. We're learning. This thing, I don't know what's happening to it. This was from like my fourth or fifth video, and it's literally disintegrating. I don't know why. I did use baking soda in the paint and I did notice that baking soda would react with this black paint that I got from Dollar Tree. So I stopped using it. And it did the same on this. It's almost like it just doesn't want to combine with each other. I don't know, but isn't it so fun? Finding all these memories. Can't forget this. My little knot I made out of air dry clay. Also not holding up too good. I think the sealer I used wasn't enough to seal out the moisture or something because it's cracked, but how cute. It's my little McGee dupe. It's cleared out completely, except for my floral wall, which is staying. Organizing is one of those things that definitely gets worse before it gets better. So while I feel like this room is shaping up nicely, my house is a wreck. It continues. Oh no. It's pretty bad. This is a lot of stuff. I'm honestly nervous about all of it and what's downstairs fitting back in here nicely. I'm gonna have to be really, really smart with how I organize it in here, and I'm gonna share my space saving hacks for that as I go. So if it helps you guys, that would be great too. Also, I feel like I should preface why I have so much stuff, because some of you might say you have way too much stuff, you need to get rid of most of it, you need to declutter. So I am decluttering as I go. I'm only bringing stuff back in here that I know I'm going to keep. But the reason I do have a lot of stuff is because I'm taking our house room makeovers room by room. So other than the living room and the dining room, which I've done room makeovers on, none of the other rooms in my house have decor in them. I have a lot of decor that will one day be dispersed throughout my house, but I'm collecting things because it takes time to thrift your decor. And so I'm collecting things now. And unfortunately, it just gets a little bit cluttered because I have to have a place to store those things until I make it to that room makeover. So that's why it seems like a lot of stuff. And craft supplies, those just take up a lot of room. And some of the decor I'm saving for room makeovers for other people in my family that may need some of this stuff. So that's why there's a lot of it, but I am decluttering as I go. So don't worry. I try to only keep what I know that I will use and need. So to make the use of this space, and this is only about probably like a 9x7 room if I had to guess. So it's pretty small, especially for the amount of decor that I have. One thing to really maximize a small space is to use your vertical space. So I'm going to be creating a lot of vertical storage in here, starting with these shelves. This was a bookcase that fell apart. So I have the two side panels of the bookcase that I didn't want to just throw away, even though it's just like chipboard, but I figured they'd make great shelves. So I grabbed some brackets and I'm going to put both of them up on this wall. Don't worry. Dalton just got home. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Don't look in your office. Don't look in there. Just close the door. I left you a walkway. I left him a walkway like You're welcome. All right, so we are gonna call it for the night. We got one shelf hung and now I know where the studs are, so I'm gonna get the second one hung tomorrow. I'm so tired, and tomorrow we're gonna be moving things back in here and starting to organize it up. So see you then. Well, it's the next day and I was so tired last night. I literally felt like I had just done an extreme workout by the time I finished. So this morning I went ahead and hung the second shelf. So both of them are up now, and I already can tell there's so much more storage in here than before. And I started hanging another little shelf above the window here, but oh my gosh, it takes so much strength to hold your arms above your head and push the drill so that the screw can go into a stud. I had to take a break, and the jacket's already come off today. It's hot in here. So we're moving on from that now. So I wanted to show you actually what I did with these shelves. So you can see I used just an L bracket for this shelf. I might add another in the center, but that's the only two places I had studs. Down here, I added this is called a three-way shelf bracket, and that's because I wanted this to serve as extra storage. And I'll show you what I mean. A really important thing to do when you're planning organization in a small space is to make sure that what you implement is going to serve a double purpose. While the shelf is adding lots of storage for me, I wanted these brackets here so that I can slide in some stuff. So that's creating more storage in a space that wouldn't typically get storage. So this will hold all of my extra curtain rods and tension rods and just anything along these lines, paint poles, that will fit there. And it's really not taking up space. It's not leaning in a corner anywhere. So this is saving a lot of space in here. Over here on my floral wall, what I did is I took these cages, and these were actually dividers for a dog kennel from when Hazel was a puppy. So I had two of them and I wasn't using them. She doesn't even use the kennel anymore because she's spoiled. So now I just use the divider panels up here as my place to stick my florals in. And so I just used some screw-in hooks and mounted them on these. And this is functioning really, really well. I also added some more larger screw-in hooks here. And that's what I just hang these larger stems on. So there's a little hook here, and then these just hang there. So to add a place for my wreaths, I have several wreaths that I need a spot for. So I grabbed some more of these L brackets. These are really cheap, like $1.66 each. These are gonna hang, it's not what they're for, but these are gonna hang near the top of the wall and be a place where I can slide some wreaths onto them to get them off the floor, put them up near the ceiling, so I'm really using that vertical space. I want to get this flower wall a little bit more organized, so I've laid out all of my extra florals into organized piles, and I'm going to add them up here. Something you will probably notice throughout this video is that it's not necessarily aesthetic. And that's something I wanted to point out because I am a design channel. I do try to make a lot of things both functional and beautiful, let me explain the purpose of this room. This is a room that only I see. And I'm literally only in here for minutes at a time to grab things and bring them downstairs to where I'm doing my DIYs. In this room, I'm using a lot of things that I already have. These black bookshelves I had, the long shelves that I put up were just something that was gonna go to the trash that I saved. I did buy the brackets to hang the shelves, you know, parts of my dog's kennel. I'm not using matchy acrylic bins for things. I'm using some clear tubs that I already had that I thrifted, by the way. I'm using mismatched baskets that I already have. That's because functionality is the point for me in here. Now, if more eyes were gonna be on this room, like if it was my pantry, for example, I would try to make that both functional and beautiful. But in here, I just kind of wanted to set the expectation that it's not going to be matchy, and that's okay with me. I think all of us probably have somewhere in our house that just needs to be strictly functional. So let me de-influence you from feeling the need to spend tons of money on matchy stuff. There is a place for that, but don't guilt yourself if you just kind of want some place to be not matchy. If you just want to use the mismatched bins that you already have, that's okay. However, I did buy something that I didn't already have, and I think it's going to add a lot of very functional space to this room, and that's this. This is a door hanger. It's really tall. Let me go ahead and put it up here. Look at that. This is such a good buy because here's another tip for you. Doors are storage space too. They often get forgot. Door hangers like this really add storage space to an area that's really not being used for anything else besides where you come in the room. So now I've added this as if it was just another section of wall that I added shelves to. This is great. And it was not that expensive either. It was on sale for $26. What are you waiting for? Get that. I'll link it. I thought these baskets would be perfect for storing my smaller craft supplies. So like all my little sample jars of paint. If you remember the living room makeover, you know I have a lot of these, but we're not gonna talk about that. A great part about this is that the baskets are adjustable. So if I have something a little taller, I can adjust and make room for that. I have assembled my lamp collection, which I'm going to be putting up there because that's like a taller space. I want to use it fully, so I'm going to be putting tall things up there. Do you guys remember these? The lamps that look like avocados? They're not supposed to look like avocados, but they look like avocados. Some of these I'm not using because I just don't have a lampshade for them yet. Other ones are waiting on me to do DIYs on them, so that's why I have so many that I'm not using. Since this is really the only big blank wall that I have in this space, I strategically kept these shelves higher so that I had room under here. That's where I'm going to stack all of my large picture frames and mirrors that I collect. And this is the perfect spot for them. And now I have all this room to just stack them up and I can see them all. Look how good this looks. For all of my smaller frames, I decided to leave them in these smaller cardboard boxes and then put them on the shelf that way. This just keeps them in place better so they aren't constantly toppling over anytime I take some out. And again, I'm okay with these just being cardboard boxes because it's a system that's really working for me and it didn't cost me anything. I got a head start on putting some decor on the shelves, and with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. I've already been hard at work this morning, putting up some more brackets under these shelves for additional support. And I also finished getting this shelf up above the window thanks to Dalton's help. I'm really optimistic today that we're gonna get a lot of decor put back on these shelves and things are really gonna start picking up and my house is gonna be less messy as the day goes on. So let's get started. On the shelves, I'm organizing things by both type and height. So I'm adjusting the height of the shelves so that some of the shelves can just fit my smaller items, and then that leaves more room between some shelves for the taller items. I'm also organizing each shelf by brass, glass, small vases, and big vases. It is a new day and I'm walking into my decor closet and it feels so nice in here. It feels so clean, so organized. And the other day you saw I was super optimistic about the progress I was going to make the other day, and I did make a lot of progress. I got all my decor added back to the shelves, my picture frames, added some decor to these shelves, got the new brackets up. So we did make a lot of progress, but I did not get a full day in that day because I had to run errands. Then we immediately went out of town. So I'm back and it's time to get a lot of progress done on this room and hopefully finish it. I'm ready to finish it. My house has been full of stuff just waiting to be brought back in here. So let me show you what I've been doing in the meantime. I've been taking all of the extra decor supplies that I have and organizing them. So this pile of chaos is actually not chaos. It's all organized. This is all my extra like craft supplies, my papers and stationery, my pens, my recording equipment, just little bits and bobs that are not like a piece of decor to set on a shelf that I have organized into bins and baskets, of course, all stuff that I already had. So that way, when I'm putting them back into the decor closet, they're already organized and I'm not having to like still have this messy look while I'm putting stuff back in there. Either I'm just gonna put them back in there and they're gonna be done. So I'm thinking I want these bottom shelves to be like all my stationery and notebooks. This is my wrapping paper collection in these two tubs. Okay, wrapping paper and bags get expensive and tissue paper, so I keep them and reuse them when I can. Then over here, I'm gonna do my notebooks, binders, keepsake papers, and then I've got like these two tubs of stationery and cards and little notebooks and sticky notes. I thrifted these tubs, by the way, super good find. They were $1 each. I got like 7 or 8 of them. Then maybe on top of that, I have this basket that just has like construction paper and different patterned papers in it. And a couple of scrapbooks. Okay. Sweet. Above that, I want to have a shelf for my filming supplies. So that fits great there with room to spare. And then I have some baskets. This one is specifically some fall decor. I like to keep that a little bit separate from the rest of my decor since I only use it during one small part of the year. This is some Christmas stuff. This is some more Christmas stuff. Not sure what I want to put here yet, but here, I think I want to start doing like my fabrics and stuff. So the shelf is a little shorter, so that'll fit my yarn basket. And then here, so for that shelf underneath my yarn, I want a place to store my fabric, but in the past, my fabric storage has been very ineffective. It's just been basically just a basket of all my fabric and I can't really see what I have and how much of it I have. So I saw a really cool way to organize fabric that I want to share with you in case it helps you too. It basically consists of just wrapping your fabric around a piece of cardboard, which most of us have for free that came with our Amazon packages or whatever. and you just wrap it around this. And so instead of a basket of fabric, you are kind of left with this very condensed, easy to see fabric assortment. So it's super, super easy to do this. So just start with a piece of cardboard that you cut that is the right size for your shelf, and then kind of just fold your fabric in a way to where it's kind of skinny and long. And then you're gonna start at one end, just wrapping that fabric around the cardboard. And you're left with this. And you can kind of tell how much you have based on like how thick it's rolled. You can tell if you have a lot or a little. That is like life-changing. I feel like if you want to be even more organized and specific with how much fabric you have, you can even just take a Sharpie and write on the cardboard at the top how much you have. And then as you use it, you can scratch it out and write the new measurement for how much you're left with, if you want to be really specific with it. So what was once a giant monstrosity of fabric in a basket is now this really, really nice to look at assortment of fabric. That is so much better. And for any like teeny tiny pieces of fabric that I have, I just folded them up really nicely and put them inside this tub. There you go. And it slides in right here. Then also I want to put, this is my sewing kit, again, just using the containers that I have, and that'll go right there next to my fabrics. We're at the point now where we're down to the bits and bobs, so there's going to be a little bit more of a random placement of things that don't really go together, but it's just kind of the only place left for them. Now comes the time when I've got to figure out what to do with some of the more awkward things that I have to put in here, starting with these. These are some rolls of giant paper that I have that are for like covering my floors when I paint, and these need a place to go. So like I've said a couple times, not all of these solutions are going to be very aesthetic. I have this box. We used to hold my husband's sim racing seat that he has in his office, but this is a great box for holding some awkward things. So I've got some like foam core board, some poster board, and these are gonna go in here too. I've got a bunch of these, and I've also got some like wallpaper rolls that I'm gonna slide in here too. And I have some canvases that need a home, and so they will fit really nicely right in here. And there we go. I never promised to be glamorous, I just promised to be functional. Remember that. And this piece here, I have loaded up with a bunch of my smaller craft supplies. It is not the cutest unit, but it was free and it holds a lot of stuff. So I'll show you what I've got inside. The drawers stick just a little bit. This is my taper candles, and then I've got some like random like twines and strings in here, some just smaller stamps and tweezers and things. These are like paper paint samples. These are like my materials samples, so like wood flooring, fabrics, more paint, some other random craft supplies and paper napkins, and like my hot glue guns and a couple other craft supplies and ribbon. We're finally done. It feels so amazing to pretty much start the year with a fresh, clean space that will be so nice to work out of throughout the year for all my upcoming DIY projects and room makeovers. So subscribe to make sure you don't miss those, because so many exciting projects are planned. Now my mad science laboratory is ready for me to start using, and I can see what I have. So I'm going to be using a lot more of my decor that I have already. And a lot of this stuff is going to be being used in room makeovers, so a lot of it will come out. Honestly, I'm so shocked that all this stuff fit back in here. And there's a little bit of room to spare too, which is surprising. I have no doubt that a big reason all of my stuff could fit back in the decor closet is because I'm getting rid of so much stuff. This is all stuff that I'm decluttering, and it feels amazing to get rid of all this stuff that I've been hanging on to for way too long. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me while I decluttered and organized this space. I hope that you'll be taking away some tips from this for organizing, decluttering, or maybe just inspiration to kind of get started on your own decluttering projects. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye guys.